Evening folks, it's a quick video from Doug. Just a quick response actually more than anything else. I've had a couple of discussions on Facebook about this evening with a couple of people regarding this Caroline Starmer who's made allegations down in Leicester and so forth. Now I had a huge discussion with a lot of people on a group called Free to Feed when the original allegations were made regarding this young lady back on the 14th of July. Just a quick background, what she's claimed is that she was in Primark in Leicester and claims that she was breastfeeding her daughter. She had twins at the time, and a security guard apparently came up, seized her daughter off of her breast while she was feeding, and walked off with the child. Obviously she's claiming that she had to run after the child. The security guard told her she wasn't going to have her daughter back unless he followed her and left the store. Today, which is the 24th of September, it emerges that she has actually pleaded guilty to trying to pervert the course of justice. Obviously she's lied about the whole thing, admitted that she's lied, which rather unsurprisingly to a huge amount of the people who were following the story, including myself and my wife, a couple of our friends were looking at it as well, who would approach me to ask what I thought of it, being I've worked in security for many years, and obviously this kind of action, there's not even a scale in the world as to how much of a monumental no-no that kind of behaviour would be, which automatically made me think something didn't sit right with me about the story, especially when it emerged a period of time earlier that Ms Starmer had made similar allegations down at Leicester Leisure Centre, said that she'd been kicked out of the pool for breastfeeding or something similar, and there was quite a few people who mentioned the same thing, and it didn't sit well with them. Going back onto the Free to Feed community today, which I've got on my laptop right in front of me, of their statements are, so we finally have the truth. What possesses people to fabricate lies on this level and drag everyone else down with them will always be a mystery to us. Our good nature and intent was completely abused by someone that we believed in good faith and wanted to help. No, sorry, I'm not having that. I've had discussions at some length with lots of people who have been blocked from this Free to Feed page, including myself, including my wife, who have both been blocked. And the question was raised, why are these allegations being pushed as hard as they are before any level of evidence has been produced? Obviously Primark released their statement fairly promptly after the situation, so that they had no evidence of the situation and weren't going to comment until the police had continued with their investigation. It seems that the Free to Feed page are trying to not so much bury their head in the sand, but they're trying to sweep it under the carpet and make out that they're not quite as at fault as I think they'd like to believe. Unfortunately, they are completely at fault. Free to Feed, the two ladies who run it, I can't remember what your names are, Emma and Emily. I've reached out to you both on Twitter, the Big Dog 8873, that's me. I've reached out to you twice on Twitter through Primark, and I've asked you quite civilly, quite normally, are you going to apologise to the people that you've blocked? Are you going to apologise to the people that you abused? Are you going to apologise to the people that suffered abuse when they did nothing more than raise the question of perhaps it isn't wise to push as virulently as you were this story until there was some evidence, which there never was, because obviously it wasn't true. But you seem to take this case and run with it and run with it. You made all manner of allegations. You made allegations of a racial nature against the alleged security guard who allegedly was about 5'10", had a moustache, was Asian, obviously some kind of racial stereotype. But I mean, some of the abuse that I read toward this security guard, who thankfully didn't exist, was horrendous. He should be burned alive was one of them. He should lose his job. He should be deported from the country, and just horrible things. And what I don't think a lot of people realise, if this security guard had been on duty at the time, if he'd been real, he could have lost his job, he could have lost his family, he could have been arrested, he could have had rent to pay, a mortgage to pay, bills, he could have been a perfectly honest person. Obviously, to work in this field, you need to be security licensed, you need to have a clean criminal record, you need to be a person of a good character. Now, these kind of allegations are so easy for women to make and so hard to disprove. Now, I've been the victim of false allegations myself in the past when I've worked the doors and in security and so forth, and thankfully in today's society there is lots of cameras around, which 99.9% of the time will prove most allegations be they from females, be they from males. It's not relevant which gender they come from, but obviously lots of allegations will be proven quite right to be false. Thankfully, in this situation, this is one of those where it has been proven to be false. But I'm looking through this Facebook page, and I'm seeing so many of the same situations. Are you going to apologise? Are you going to make it known that maybe you pushed it too far, too hard, when there's no evidence? There doesn't seem to be any willingness from this free to feed page to accept responsibility for the amount of action that was taken because of what they said and the amount that they pushed the matter. Now, again, I've reached out to this page on Twitter on a couple of occasions. I've posted up on a couple of other pages, reaching out to people that run this page. They don't seem to want to speak to anyone. There's maybe half a dozen people that I'm speaking to who have all also been blocked. They don't seem to be willing to lift the block to have an open discussion on the situation. I think perhaps that they need to be more willing to accept responsibility for their own actions and for their own words and for the course of actions that were taken. Yes, they were led on by someone who lied. This is always going to be the issue, that obviously you want to support someone who's been in a situation which, if true, should never have happened to anyone. Any mother has got the right to breastfeed wherever the damn hell she pleases, and no one, male, female, in any job role should try and tell them whether they should or shouldn't and where they can and can't and so forth. That's not the point. The point here is that they've jumped on this agenda. They've leapt to a conclusion without knowing the facts, without seeing any evidence of the situation, and now they're trying to disavow all personal responsibility for the consequences. That doesn't sit well with me and doesn't sit well with a lot of other people. So free to feed, if any of you get to see this, my Facebook page is right there. It's on this page. Leave a comment beneath. Respond to me on Twitter, the big dog 8873. That's me. I've reached out to you repeatedly. Accept responsibility for your actions. Let's have a discussion. Let's see what you've got to say in a civilized discussion where you don't have the authority to just block someone who doesn't leap along with your bandwagon views. You shouldn't be going around blocking people just because they don't agree completely with what you say. When I had my discussions with you, when my wife reached out to you, it was a perfectly polite, rational point. Lots of people agreed with us. Lots of people said the same thing to the people who are admins on this free to feed group. Where's the evidence? Where's the actual proof that something happened? Unfortunately, you decided to go the other way completely and agreed completely with this Miss Starmer, who's been, stunningly silent from the outset on this page, except for when she went running to the mainstream media to sell the story. When you're very quick to run to the mainstream media and make money, but you're not going to be around to back up what you say, doesn't sit well with me either. Make allegations if something's happened to you, quite rightly. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for the rights of all women to breastfeed wherever the damn hell they please. And I'll tell you what, I'll be stood right next to you doing the exact same. Don't use this agenda as a platform, and then when it turns out to be completely burnt underneath you, disavow all responsibility for it. Like I said, I've reached out to contact you. Reach me on here. I'll be posting this video on a couple of pages. Hopefully it will reach you, because I can't post it on the free to feed page. Hopefully someone will contact me and we'll see what happens. I don't think they will. I don't think these two ladies have the responsibility and the integrity to respond in a honest and open situation, but you never know. Anyway, that's just my rant for tonight. I'll be posting some other videos later. Take care, guys. See you soon.